right, so another thing we thought we'd discuss today, and again, we'll ask Brian to give us some more information on it. Is we thought it'd be good to look at some of the Braille technology, what's new and what's emerging in this area. We do discuss Braille technology here on the live event from time to time, but since we're coming towards the end of the year, it might be good to take a bit of a look into what's new and what's the latest and greatest in Braille technology.
Well, yeah, and again, I mean, I suppose one of the greatest initiatives, or one of the best initiatives, as far as I'm concerned, anyway, is around the learning of Braille, and it's something I alluded to earlier, and that's the initiative that's been run in conjunction with the NCBI Library with Lena, and it's the whole development of learning Braille through the old concept of the Lego brick, and again, I mean. Essentially, they're using the Lego bricks with the different Braille dots on them to teach Braille to younger people. Again, as I say, I think that this would have this has huge potential as well for adults learning Braille. And again, it's not necessarily your own technology, but it is a fantastic initiative and definitely merits to be mentioned here. And it's something to look out for in 2021 for anyone that's interested in Braille. And again, I mean, this year we've had developments in the various Braille displays. I mean, I suppose one of the big initiatives in the past year to 18 months would be the whole focus on multi-line Braille displays, whereas traditionally we would have had maybe 40 cell displays, 20 cell displays, and for people working in offices we would have had 80 cell displays. Again, I suppose recently we've had the smaller Braille displays where we're trying to make Braille more portable or mobile, and because people have the iPhones now and the smartphones and the tablets, the 14 cell displays are coming into their own, and the 20 cell displays are coming into their own by virtue of the fact that you can just put them into your pocket and carry them around with you, and you can, you know, if you're, for example, a deaf-blind person, you can use your 14 cell display, which is, you know, paired with an iPhone or a Samsung. You can use your Braille display for communication purposes. But again, I suppose the focus in more recent times has been on the whole developments around digital Braille and multi-line Braille displays, where you would have several lines of Braille on an individual display. I suppose the initial prototype of that concept would have been the Canute, which I suppose the Canute, for all intents and purposes, would be like a knee reader for Braille users. So to be like your old, it would be like, you know, your e-player. That would have your electronic book. Well, this would be the concept would be in the context of Braille. You'd have your 10 lines of Braille. So you'd have your book, and you could just read your 10 lines of Braille on it. Now, in more recent times, the concentration has been on refreshable Braille. And the difference between what refreshable Braille is Braille that changes. So the minute the screen changes, the actual Braille changes. So again, it gives you more access to more modern technologies and to some of the more modern developments around iPhone and smartphone technologies. And again, it's brilliant for people in education. It would be brilliant for people in the workforce. And again, I mean, there would be some of the main digital or technological innovations around Braille. And again, of course, you have the Braille, or you have the Dot Watch, which again has a refreshable Braille display attached to it. And there are things that I think we will be seeing more developments in 2021.
Yeah, and indeed, we will be talking about them here on the live event as they happen. And we're looking forward to more of the advances in Braille. It's something that we really wanted to support people around the digital side of Braille as well, because it's such an empowering piece of technology.
And as well, Kyra, just to say that, I mean, NCBI, we have earlier on this year, we formed a Braille focus group from among the NCBI lab staff, and there's 4 members of the actual NCBI labs team directly involved in the development of that team, and we've invited external, people external to the NCBI agency who are interested in Braille and who are advocates of Braille, and we've been doing sterling work in the past, right throughout this year, since February or March of this year. And again, that's something that we're definitely going to concentrate on next year. And again, I suppose the ideal behind this particular focus group will be to bring cutting-edge Braille technology and the developments and advances in Braille technology to NCBI service users. So keep an eye here on this parish.
Watch this space, as they say.
Watch this
space.
Space.
Thanks, Brian.